Hi everyone, welcome back. Sorry about that. This will be take 2. So Sammy's going to help me show you 8 different ways you can use a leash with your dog, and hopefully this will help at least everybody in some capacity, either from if you have a puppy or a senior dog or every kind of dog in between. There's something for everybody today. So I'm going to bring Sammy up and he's going to help me demonstrate a few things. Okay, buddy, come on. Okay, so the first one is the most obvious, and this is going to be, I'm going to move my bed over a little bit. This is just walking your dog. So come here, buddy. And the great thing about using a leash when you're walking your dog is it teaches them to listen to you. It gives them structure. It, well, for some places it's the law. You wouldn't know it from our neighbors around here, but it is also gives them security when they have this attachment to you. So when the dog feels that they're closer to you, they're more comforted, they lean on you more to be the leader, and they're a little more, they can kind of relax a little more. So if you see, Sammy, I have a 4-foot leash, and when I walk a dog, I keep them pretty close to me, like this. So even with 4 feet, I'm basically using like 12 inches of this thing. So that way, Sammy's kind of close to me, he can't run amok, he learns to walk with me. And then I give him sniffing times where he can just go and sniff a few things, and I'll even tell him, okay, you can sniff, and then give him some more leash, and then, all right, let's go, and then I'll reel him back in, and we'll keep walking. So that's the first one is the most basic, so walking your dog on the leash. And then the second one is if you have a puppy, you don't want them to be loose in your house because it's like having an infant running or a toddler running around, so you don't want them to get into trouble, hurt themselves. So you can use the leash as a way to kind of manage your puppy in the home. Crates are great for sleeping at night, for naps, for giving yourself a break from your puppy. But you ought to also have your puppy out with you so you can teach them what to do in the house. So they learn how to be in the house, but then you have to give them some structure in order to teach them. Otherwise, they're just going to run off and ignore you and get into trouble. So if you keep your puppy on a leash, and you could even tie it to you, tie it around your waist, clip it like that if you have a longer leash, or hook it on your belt loop or something, and then you've got your puppy with you all the time. You can teach them what you want them to know. The third one is for senior dogs. So I'll get Sammy on his feet here. Good job, buddy. So if you have a dog who's got some mobility issues in the hinds, this is something we used on our female dog, is I put the leash underneath, and if you have a boy dog, you know, be careful that you're not hurting him. So you put the leash underneath like this, and it can give you a little more assistance with lifting their hind end. And it's good for going up and down stairs, or if they just need a little help getting up, that's something you can do. For the fourth one, this is for dogs who pull really hard on the leash. First of all, if you have a dog who pulls a lot, you may not want to walk them on just a regular collar like this. You may want to switch to like a front clipping harness. But one thing you can do in the meantime is put the leash around like this. We call it double leashing your dog. And that's a way to give you a little more control. So I'll show you that again. The leash is clipped onto the collar. You just kind of hold it like this and then slip it under the neck. And then now you've got two sort of points of contact on your dog. So your leash is on the collar and under the neck. And it does take the pressure off the pulling a little bit for whatever reason. So the fifth one is for dogs that maybe you put them outside and they go up to the fence and start barking. So what you can do for that, see if Sammy sticks around. you can make a slip lead. So the way you can do that, if you don't have a regular slip lead, is to put the end of the leash through the handle, and then it makes this sort of loop like this, if you can see that. Sammy just ran off to chase a squirrel, so I'll see if I can get him back. And wouldn't this be perfect if I could angle the camera to show you this, because this is exactly what I was about to demonstrate, is how you can retrieve your dog who runs off to bark at something at the fence using the slip lead. So I'm going to make my loop, so put it through the handle. Now I've just got this little loop here. Sammy, come here, buddy. Good boy. I'll bring Sammy back over. Sammy, look, buddy. And then the slip lead you can just put around the head. Hey, come here. And just like that. So it's just an easy way to slip a leash around your dog's neck. Wait, buddy. Just like this. Sammy. Sammy's a little excited now about the squirrels. So it's just, you make your loop, we slip it on his head, just like that. So you know if your dog is at the fence barking, you may not be able to call them to you, so the best thing to do is just calmly walk up, slip the leash around, and the beauty of the slip lead is it keeps your hands from having to get close to your dog. So a dog who's barking and reacting can redirect bite to anything that touches them, just unintentionally. All that energy and frustration can just go to the person who touches them or other dog. And they can sometimes snap or bite. So this is a way to kind of keep your hands out of the fray. Sammy, Sammy, look, buddy. Here, buddy, come here. Sammy's eluding my leash here. I'll put him, there you go. So it's a way to slip it on like that. And then you've got your dog on a leash. Now you can lead him away from the fence and take him inside. Another way you can use your slip lead, this will be number 6, is I'm going to put Sammy on his bed. Lay down. So maybe you have a dog who is a resource guarder. They get on the couch and they growl at you if you try to move them or you come near them. So you don't want to encourage that behavior, and you definitely want to work with a professional to work on the training side of things and the behavior management or modification. But in the meantime, you want to keep them from getting onto that space. If they do happen to get up there and start guarding the bed or the couch, that's a time you don't want to put your hand near your dog's mouth, because then they could snap at you. But you can slip this on and now lead them off. Okay, buddy. So then you can safely remove your dog from whatever they're guarding if it's a piece of furniture. Okay, so the next one, number 7, this is going to be a tether. So I will put the leash back on Sammy. Come here, buddy. I know, good boy. Okay, Sammy's a little dramatic sometimes, so he's rubbing in the grass because I put pressure on his neck. And maybe he'll come back to us in a second here. So what the tether is for, come here, Sammy. Good boy, let me put this back on you. Is if you're in the house and you want to teach your dog a go to bed cue or a place command to teach them to kind of be in one spot and settle, then what you can do is tether the leash to a piece of furniture, a very heavy piece of furniture, mind you. Make sure it outweighs your dog by at least 2-fold, I would say. Good. So what you will do is put your leash around the piece of furniture, kind of like our slip lead, but you'll have it on the furniture leg, and then attach it to your dog. And then put them on their bed or their place and give them something to chew on. So that's going to teach them, be in the spot, be calm, and then the tether is there to keep them from leaving the spot. And you give them something to chew on, like a bone or a chew toy, to keep them occupied while they're there, so it makes it a positive place. One thing to remember is you don't want to do this when you're not home. So you want to make sure you only work on something like that when you're with your dog, because you don't want them to get tangled or hung up in their leash when you're not there. Okay, and then the last one, number 8, is going to be check-ins. So these are something that are great for dogs who are learning recalls. And it's great because you're out on your walks and it teaches your dog to come to you when you're in a distracting environment like that. So I'll give you a demonstration here. Come on, buddy. Good boy. All right, let's go. So you'll let your dog kind of walk, and if they start to get out in front of you, come on, buddy. You call them back, and then you reward them for coming back to you on the walk. I'll try that again. Okay, buddy. Good boy. All right, let's go. So Sammy's walking, gets to the end of the leash. I call him back. You can have him sit or just come back to you. He gets a reward, and then you keep walking. So it teaches him, we're out in a big distracting environment, check in with me when I call you, and then I'll let you go back to whatever you were doing. So it's kind of a beginning recall kind of thing, beginning in distractions. So helps with overcoming those bigger distractions when you're outside on your walks. Okay, so those are 8 things you can do with a leash with your dog. Hopefully you can find something in there that's useful to you. And if you have any other questions or you want more details about any of this, I'm also available for training online or in person. So that's it for today. Hope you have a wonderful 4th of July weekend, and I will see you next week. All right, bye-bye.